Ezinye zezinto ezashaya kakhulu njenge-liberation movement abantu abamnyama eSouth Africa zosho zibe u-2. Uqala ukulimala kwethu ukushintsha ka-ANC from being a liberation movement into being an organization, because abelungu then they knew exactly what the best way of managing this revolution and taming it down is to institutionalize it, make it have something called the constitution, because through that constitution you'll be able to create divisions inside and make decisions for the ANC about itself. And we've seen that happening a lot in court, how the ANC has been forced to do things a certain way, not a certain way. And leso strategy sasiqhamuka ekutheni babazi vele abelungu ukuthi kwayona i-constitution lena yele democratic dispensation nayo kofike contribute kuyona kakhulu khona bezoyicupha ngendlela evuna izimo zabo. One of the things esayiluzayo nje clearly was the property rights kind of laws, which have made it difficult for us to be able to get our land back, because the white people hide behind the white thieves hide behind Section 25 and other sections. So they were ahead in terms of their game against us. They were very ahead. So we are here now, we are praising the Constitution, even praising Ramaphosa for playing part in the constitutional development. But what we are blind of is that the very same Constitution was the first tool of suppressing us and making sure that our liberation doesn't go as fast as we want, if it will ever go at a certain point. And the other thing, because black people, we are blind about 1420, we know the key objective the liberation movement ANC ngaleso sikhathi was to liberate the black people, and we knew that liberation could be only expressed in paper through constitutional development. So sayiluza-ke impi ngoba kwathi ma-development constitution yanga reflecta lama core values of liberation, these key indicators of showing whether we are being liberated, yes or no, at all material time and space. And I say, how come we had thousands and thousands of revolutionaries, but when the constitution was developed, it was only Ramaphosa and Home Mayor? How come a very important document like that one? Where was the PAC? Where were all these other political parties? Because masukuma revolution la, asikhulumi just nge-ANC. Even then, the abaningi ama-political parties ayepusha ama-interest omntomnyama, PAC yazapo, nayo ANC included, and all that. Why all those other political parties which were pushing for black liberation were not part of development of constitution as a South Africa? Why? It's because participation was restricted, and only people who are collaborators were made to play part in this constitutional development. Less Kenya namhlanje, but 30 years later, and not all of us see it even after 30 years. Some of us still don't see it. They still feel like they can still praise Ramaphosa for developing the constitution as if they've benefited anything from it beyond voting and killing yourself if you want to kill yourself through alcohol, drugs, and other things. So we lost the war there. When the constitution was developed, not all other key black players were part of the constitutional development. And the reason why they were excluded is simply because they knew exactly what they will push for, a voice which will fight against the interest of a white person and push for interest of a black person. How come only Ramaphosa is praised for being part of developing the constitution? The same Ramaphosa who doesn't appear prominently in the struggle, in exile and all that. All the Jacob Zumas, they were pushed behind. Ramaphosa was not that well known to the public, was the one leading constitutional development with Hofmeyer. How the hell that happened? Where were the ANC thinkers? Why they were not part of that constitutional development process? How come? So those are the basic things that you could see if you can start to engage your mind and ask yourself certain important questions. There's something structurally not right about the fact that only two people could be accounted for when it comes to constitutional development. Where was the role of Nelson Mandela there? Where was the role of Oliver Tambo? People like Chris Hani, they had to be eliminated earlier. But there are so many revolutionaries who were remaining behind, who could have contributed meaningfully to constitutional development. That's what you must know about participation. Participation is controlled because certain views have to fly. If certain people are there, those views cannot fly. So Kuluma participation one day in light of use of dialogue to transform the society. So that you know that that word dialogue is much deeper than you think. And the politics around dialogue centers around participation. What type of participation? Centered around the facilitator practice. The person who's facilitating the dialogue, how does that person influence that dialogue through employed method, techniques, and approaches? Ngiyokhuluma ngakho ngelinye ilanga. Ngizokubamba okwamanje. Ngibala into eziwu-2 esaluza kuzona. Ngisabale kwamanje constitutional development of South Africa and ngayibala ngazo athatha kwi-constitutional development ye-ANC. That's what moved us from being a liberation movement into constitutional organization, and that's where we compromised a lot of values of revolution. The second thing, we got into government not ready. We were not ready in terms of required skills, experience, and abilities, and values as well. We were not ready. We came into government with psychological damages that happened to us in exile. Some of them happened to us here in South Africa, where black people were dehumanized, deprived of education, and we expected that we can govern. We had a problem. We came into government unprepared, without required skills, abilities, values. And that's why a lot of things in the government are collapsing. Why ngikhuluma ngalokho ke ngifuna ukuya kule issue kuyona ngifuna ukuyikhuluma with that background. Ukuthi umkhonto wesizwe uye emandleni. Uyadinga umkhonto wesizwe ukuzinuka amakhwapha. Are we ready? Do we have sufficient skills? Do we have sufficient experience? Do we have sufficient values to govern people, black people? Let me say Africans, because Dr. Kloppe doesn't like this thing of saying black people. We are Africans. Do we have all those necessary skills, values, and experience to govern in South Africa as MK, to administer over the Africans' issues, affairs? Have we worked around our values? Because I don't think we have accumulated some skills and experience. But have we worked around the core values of governance? If Tiwa, you are really part of government as MK. Have we? Do we have the right set of people with right skills, values, experience, and values as the nerve center of everything, a connector of everything else? Do we have those people who are ready to serve people without pushing their personal interest of looting the state, to the point that you even loot the poor in rural communities? Do we have those people, MK? Are we well prepared to govern? I'm just asking this question, but I've seen that Zuma is already on that. We saw how Zuma has brought back his key, excellent cadres who have governed certain departments in the past successfully. He's bringing them back. And is saying to some of us who are just coming with that required energy into politics, please hold on. I have people who are ready to hit the ground running. And we need to start on that pace. You know why? We've got no time, my MK, to repeat the mistakes done by the ANC. You must know that. We've got no privilege to learn by doing, to repeat the mistakes done by the ANC, because the voter, who's predominantly an African, is tired of being betrayed, of being neglected, and less service. There's no appetite now to be patient to poor service delivery and incompetence. And we need to understand that as MK, that the minute you are made a councillor, start excelling. Unfortunately, we've got no time for you to learn. The people on the ground have been waiting for a long time to wait more for you to learn. The minute you are given a task to pick up, to identify imizi, edingwakhela toilet, for example, edingwakhela mgwaqo, for example, do that with all honesty and good values of service delivery, and stop doing things for your friends. We've got no time for that as MK. We need to do it right the first time we do it. Otherwise, we'll go back to political disorientation that Zuma has taken us out of by creating MK. We've been politically disorientated, comrades, when the ANC has betrayed us, when the Ramaphosa ANC has shitted on us, which today can even tell us that the ANC is not a party for black people. You ask yourself where the hell they get that audacity. It's the shares they have. It's the security, economic security they've already accumulated. They don't care now. They are well off. They are sorted. So the black class can die if it likes. They're going to tell you what they want to tell you, the way they want to tell you, the time they want. They don't care about you. They've cut their deal. They're much more secured now. And I want to say, and some of us in communities, we are suffering from political disorientation. And this disorientation is more characterized by losing the fundamentals of liberation. Why there was liberation, why we are pushing this liberation movement, taken from the ANC as MK. It's because it has lost shape. It has lost connection with the fundamentals. It is completely derailed and excelling in that derailment under Ramaphosa. We no longer know why this revolution was being pushed from the beginning. Which means we don't know the destination. We don't even know where we come from. We don't know where we're going. That's what I mean, political disorientation. So yonke le language namhlanje kumaholi baka-ANC, they're suffering from political disorientation because they sold their political consciousness to the riches provided by the white man and the system run by the collaborators. They are now behind enemy line. They can't tell a white person to transform today while they've got a lot of shares, kids in private school, healthcare in private providers, staying in mansions. They can't tell a white person who has paid for all those things. They're beyond enemy line. We need to understand that. That's why we need a new breed. We need to clean off all these so-called ANC stalwarts. Clean them off. They are rubbish now. We need new politicians who will come with clear consciousness and commitment. People like Judge John Shorbe. People who had a chance to sell out, but they decided not to sell out. We need those kind of tested people to come and lead us. People like Brian Molefe. They need to come and lead us because they have been tried and tested, and they have proven that with all benefits available for them to sell out, they will not sell out. But I want to go back and say, the biggest damage that we need to fix as MK is part of preparing to govern the black people. We must understand that the bigger damage happened in the mind of the black people. Hence, Steve Biko once said, the most lethal weapon of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. This is where our biggest damage is. That's why even if you give us anything economic, we destroy ourselves. Even I destroy myself with RAF. Because our psychology has been worked against us. So the bigger task in front of us, MK, is to bring back black consciousness that Steve Biko died tragically while still trying to facilitate. And they had to kill him because they saw that he's addressing the nerve of oppression, the mind of the oppressed. MK, let's take it as a serious project to prepare ourselves to govern the affairs of Africans. The same treatment as he told up go Woolworths. First he told Home Affairs. Why I can't be treated decently in my government departments by virtue of being black while other or while white people still get that service? Why the service providers in the clinics, in Home Affairs, in police stations, they can't be decent to a black person? The psychological damage that I spoke about. We need to facilitate best customer service orientation amongst ourselves. We need to teach black people that it is okay to smile at a black person when you are servicing a black person. Does not matter what institution you're working in. We need to teach the teller at Boxer store it's okay to respect the black customer the same way you respect the white customer. We need to tell the cleaners, the cashiers, black cashiers and cleaners at Spa, it's okay to be decent to black customers. There's nothing wrong. They're just black like you. They deserve respect. They are customers. They are here to bring money for you to get paid and solve your own problems, some of the family problems as well. We need to teach all black people that black people too have souls. Black people too deserve respect. It's okay to be black. Black is not inferiority. Being black is not a curse. We are Africans. This is our land. And we are all sufferers from the white system and the black people who are collaborating in it. And the black people who are collaborating. Yes, we have challenges. We are not as rich as white people, as Indians, and as Islamic people. But still we are people. We've got feelings, we've got aspirations, we've got dreams. We also fear. We're also hungry for more respect and dignity towards ourselves. We need to change the psyche of the black person to say, it's not okay to drink from day one to day last. We need to teach a black child that by being born black, you were not born with a curse. We need service providers. We need cadres who will occupy all those government departments, all those municipalities, who will understand that and start treating a black person with dignity. From the gate, security guard, assistance, to the actual service delivery. MK Party needs to understand that we are treated indecently by fellow black people. In the workspaces, we've still got so many black people who collaborate with the white system, the white professionals who always see incompetence and thievery in us, lack of worth, lack of trust in us, even if we've done nothing wrong. So it doesn't matter where we serve, even if we're a cleaner. Please treat black people with decency. Even yourself, coming in, you find a black cleaner. Please treat him or her with dignity of being a person. So let us stop ill-treating ourselves. And MK Party needs to make sure this is done. We need MK Party to focus more on customer satisfaction surveys, particularly in government departments. Each municipal office, each home affairs department, each clinic, there should be an officer who's making sure that there's proper, worth, decent service delivered for black people. And there should be reflection, monthly or weekly where possible, where we just check customer satisfaction as for the beginning in my MK. If the figures of the losses of Maspala, what is the modus operandi, standard operational procedure? How does that procedure enhance service delivery to the person? How many people walk out not satisfied? How many leave satisfied? How many cases are resolved over what period of time? Because predominantly, the client in government departments is the black person who suffers this indecency and poor service delivery. The same way there's a labor desk making sure that workers are looked well after, we have to have another desk focusing on service delivery in government departments and in municipalities, just to make sure that our black people are well looked after. And the MK Party must start preparing those cadres so that when we govern, there's a fresh air in government departments, not this abuse we face.